Hello and welcome to today's video. This is my June TBR video, my June Snakes and Ladders video. We're going to play my Snakes and Ladders TBR game to pick out my June TBR. And that's basically it. There isn't really much to say. I've been playing this game for quite a while now, but in case you've never seen a video before, I will link the full instructions up above. It'll be linked up somewhere here. I'll link to January's TBR because I'll go over the instructions in full, but the very basics of it is we have this TBR board and we have a little counter and an 8-sided die, and we move around the board landing on squares. Each of the squares is linked to a type of TBR prompt, and we pick up a card with a actual prompt on it. So if we started at 1 and rolled a 4, we'd go, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, we'd land on a blue. And then these are all of our cards here, so they're all for different things. So if we start at blue, so the blue is game. And for game, you pick one up, and the top one is booktube rec. So it's just any sort of gamified version. So you've got like random emoji generator, TBR video pick. Like we've got loads of different ones. They're all in there. Then we also have orange. Orange is type. So type can be something like continue a series, a sequel. Wildcard, every single pack has a wildcard in, which just means I can pick anything I want. YA, Kindle/ebook, you get the picture, you get the idea. Then we have pink, which is genre-ish. Most of these are genres, some of these might not actually be classed as genres, but they're close enough that it means the same to me. So dystopian, literary fiction, thriller, you get the idea. And then purple, we have visual. So visual is something such as blue cover, sprayed edges, illustrated cover, stuff like that. And then we have green. Last but not least is green, and the green cards are other. And this is absolutely anything that doesn't fit into any of the other prompts. So a couple of examples are most recently purchased, set elsewhere in our world, a hyped book, less than 500 reviews on Goodreads, stuff like that. But it could literally just be anything, any prompt that I thought of that doesn't easily fit within the other groups. So those are our prompt cards. Every month we roll 6 times and get 6 prompts from that. If we land on a ladder, we get to minus a roll, and if we land on a snake, we have to add a roll. Those are the very basics of it. Hopefully that makes sense. It's essentially just snakes and ladders. I'm just picking out my reading from it. So yeah. Any questions, any queries, leave them down below or give the January video a watch. So let's get into roll number 1. Okay, roll number 1 is a 3, so that's 1, 2, 3, which is blue, which is game, and that is word association. So as you just saw, roll number 1 we got blue, which is game, and the game that we got is word association. So I went on my phone, I picked a website, and the first website I picked just was not giving me anything. It was giving me so many like weird words that like I didn't even know the meanings of, or words that just that you couldn't associate anything with. They're really weird, very specific words. So I scrolled down and picked another website. And as I generated the word for this new website, I'll have the screen recording playing here whilst I'm talking. The word that came up was snail. And that to me just was perfect for one of the books that I'm most excited to read at the moment. So I guess when I think of snail, I think of like antennae or shell or slime or trail or anything like that. So those would be like kind of the word association. So I guess this book does that, but it also just does snail, which is the word itself. And that book is Death of a Bookseller. This is the independent bookshop edition. I will put the original edition in here. It's basically the exact same, just inverse colours. And you can see here we've got a snail with a shell and antennas. And where is it on the spine? Here on the spine. So there on the spine there's also a snail, and I don't know, I'm just so excited about this book. Since I found it in the bookshop, like I specifically went down to my bookshop because I saw they got this edition in, and it's just so pretty and it sounds so interesting. So let's give the synopsis a read. Would you kill for a good story? Roach, bookseller, loner and true crime fanatic, has no interest in making friends. She has all the company she needs in her serial killer books, murder podcasts and her pet snail, Bleep. That is until Laura joins the bookshop. With her cute literary tote bags and sunny smile, she is everyone's favourite bookseller, but beneath the shiny veneer, Roach senses a darkness within Laura. The same darkness Roach possesses. And as curiosity blooms into a morbid obsession, Roach becomes determined to be part of Laura's story, whether Laura wants her in it or not. So yeah, I'm expecting like bookshop thriller vibes is basically what I'm thinking. There's a lot of blood splatter everywhere and like blood on the cover, so I'm thinking maybe there'll be like a murder. I'm kind of hoping there'll be a murder. Is that weird? I don't know if that's weird, but either way, that is what we're doing. And yeah, I'm ridiculously excited for this book, so I'm so glad that I managed to get it on the official TBR. Roll number 2 is a 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's green. Green is other. That is read it this month or unhaul it. Okay, we can find one for that. Then roll number 2, we got other, and the other that we got was read it or unhaul it. I'm going for the Shell Collector. This is in my self-destruct books that will like need to either be read or got rid of by the end of the year anyway, so I'm not adding extra stress on that. But it's also one that sounds really interesting, but every time I pick it up I can't get into it. So I think during June I will set myself the task of actually sitting down, trying to give it a proper good go. Like I'm looking, I think the furthest I've got in is 12 pages, unless I've taken another bookmark out. So yeah, I need to give it more of a go, basically. But yeah, this is just one that I found in a charity shop, sounds really interesting, and I'd like to give it a go. So on the back it just says, a blind man spends his days roaming the beaches of Kenya collecting shells, classifying them by feeling their whorls, spines and folds in his fingers. A young woman discovers that she can explore the inner world of an animal's mind by touching its freshly dead body. A refugee from Liberia who cannot escape the horrors that he has witnessed finds salvation in the clandestine act of burying the hearts of beached whales. And it's just a load of short stories that sound really interesting, so I should give it a good go. Like, in fact, what I probably will do, because it is short stories, is split it up so I'm reading it throughout the entire month. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 short stories, so maybe like every 3 to 4 days I'll try to read one of them and hope that works. Okay, roll number 3, hoping to avoid that snake, is F3. 1, 2, 3, which is purple. Purple is visual. That we have purple cover. Okay. Then we got visual, and the visual we got was, it's not going to focus. There we go. Purple cover. I really struggled with this one. I do own a couple other purple books besides the one I'm going to show. One of them is 1,000 pages, and one of them, oh no, I own 3 others besides from the one I'm going to show. One's 1,000 pages, one is a very long classic, and one is like the 5th book in a series I haven't started yet. So the one I'm going to go for, which I feel like this is purple enough. Like, it's not probably, do you know, no, it's purple enough. Let's stop second guessing this. Is Skullduggery Pleasant, the Faceless Ones. So this is the 3rd book in the Skullduggery Pleasant series, and like the associated colour with this book, I don't really know the technical terms, is purple. Like, we've got purple over the title and we've got purple in the background. So I'm classing this. I think this works. Yeah, I'm obviously not going to tell you the synopsis of this one because it's the 3rd book in a series, but what you need to know about Skullduggery Pleasant is Skullduggery Pleasant is this person we see on the front. He is a detective, and he also just happens to be a skeleton. There is another main character who's the one whose perspective we mainly follow, and she is like a young girl who's just like figuring out life. I don't actually remember how much it says on the back of the 1st book in the series, so I'm going to leave it at that, but eventually an event happens that causes these two to meet and it goes from there. Okay, and then roll number 4 is a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, which is purple again, so another visual. An element on the cover. Okay, so like fire, air, earth, water. We can do that. So, roll number 4, we got element on the cover. And I really like the idea of this prompt, but every time it comes up I have such a problem fulfilling it, because to me element is like air, earth, water, fire. That's kind of like what I mean by the prompt. On the front of this cover you can see what I assume is water. You can see dirt, which is earth. You can see trees, which is earth. You can see the sky, which is air. Yeah, so I'm taking this as it counts, but this is Ducks. I do need to take the stickers off the front of it. I still haven't got around to doing that. But Ducks is a graphic memoir by Kate Beaton. The images inside it look like so cool, like so interesting. I'm only going to show you the first few pages just in case like you don't want to see further in, but like you can see how like cool the images are. And yeah, I've never read a graphic memoir before, so I'm really intrigued by it. I really love graphic novels and I really love memoirs, so I feel like this could be a very easy hit. On the inside it just says, before there was Kate Beaton, a cartoonist of Hark, a vagrant, there was a Kate Beaton of the Cape Breton Beatons, specifically Mayboo, a tight-knit seaside community where the lobster is as abundant as beaches, fiddles and Gaelic folk songs. With the singular goal of paying off her student loans, Katie heads out west to take advantage of Alberta's oil rush, part of the long tradition of East Coasters who seek gainful employment elsewhere when they can't find it in the homeland they love so dear. Katie encounters the harsh reality of life in the oil sands, where trauma is an everyday occurrence yet is never discussed. Beaton's natural cartooning prowess is on full display as she draws colossal machinery and mammoth vehicles set against a sublime Albertan backdrop of wildlife, northern lights and boreal forest. Her first full-length graphic narrative, Ducks, 2 Years in the Oil Sands, is an untold story of a country that prides itself on its egalitarian ethos and natural beauty while simultaneously exploiting both the riches of its land and the humanity of its people. That sounds so good. Like, I really do have high hopes for this and I'm really excited. And whilst I was struggling, which I would have edited out to pick this up because it's so heavy, I also noticed that there is like a duck on the front and like the same holographicness on the spine, and I just wanted to point out that because it's really pretty. Okay, roll number 5. This is going good so far, so let's hope it stays this way. Is a 2, 1, 2. Another game. We don't normally get many games. And that is tarot card pick. Okay, I've never done this one before. Like, this is a new one, so that's exciting. Then we have game, and that was tarot card pick. I'll insert some footage of me actually picking the card either whilst I'm talking or I'll do it separately. I'll figure it out in editing. But yeah, essentially the tarot card deck that I own, I got out, I followed a quick tutorial on my phone of how to pick because I'm not very good at it and I always need a tutorial. The tutorial is actually different to one that I've ever followed before, so I did decide to follow it completely. And the card that I ended up with was 5 of Cups. 5 of Cups. 5 of Cups. So what does the 5 of Cups mean? Glass half full, the glass half empty. Facing disappointment, setback, perspective, forgiveness, emotional maturity, recovery. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm basically just going to go for a book, I think, that I feel like I have a 50-50 chance of loving or hating. That's how I'm going to interpret this one for a prompt. Now, I did talk about it more when I was actually picking it out, but essentially the interpretation that I've decided to go with of this is a book that I feel 50-50 about. Like, one of the things it said for 5 of Cups was like glass half full versus glass half empty sort of thing. So I thought a book that I feel 50-50 about, like I could love it, I could hate it. And what I've decided to go for is The Marlowe Murder Club. The reason I feel 50-50 about this is because I feel like I could absolutely love this. The story sounds so interesting, it sounds so good, it feels like it could be a book that I love. But I also feel like I could end up hating it because the amount of books that I don't actually purchase because of how similar they sound to the Thursday Murder Club. This sounded like it was going to be different enough, but I'm not really sure. And obviously there is a lot of books coming out on the back of the success of the Thursday Murder Club, but I just want them to be a bit different. There's too many that are just like, you know, an elderly group of friends solve murders, which is what this is, but it sounds from the back like it's going to take an interesting take. So let's read the back. To solve an impossible murder, you need an impossible hero. 77-year-old Judith Potts is blissfully happy. She lives alone in a faded mansion in Marlow. sets crosswords for the Times, and there's no man in her life to tell her what to do or how much whiskey to drink. One evening, while out swimming in the Thames, Judith witnesses a brutal murder. When the local police don't believe her story, Judith and 2 unlikely friends decide to investigate for themselves. Together, they are the Marlowe Murder Club. But soon, another body turns up, and it seems that a real-life serial killer is at work. Now, the puzzle they set out to solve has become a trap from which they might never escape. Sounds really interesting, sounds really good. I am just worried that it's going to be too similar, so yeah, that's why it's such a easy pick for this card, because it really could go either way. And then hopefully our 6th and final roll, but we do need to avoid that snake. Roll number 6 is a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is orange, and orange is type. Big book, 500 plus pages. Okay, bit of a twist at the end, but we can definitely figure that out. Okay, and then last but not least, type. Big book, 500 plus pages, which, I mean, is good. I do need to read some bigger books. I do normally read like a few bigger books. I just haven't really had any yet this year. I think the longest book I've read this year has been about 460 pages, which is like different, but I've been really enjoying the books I have read, so I'm not complaining. But I'm excited for this one and nervous because it's a big task. The book I've decided to go for is Realmbreaker by Victoria Aveyard. This is the first book in a new series by Victoria Aveyard. The original series that she wrote was The Red Queen, which I read when I was younger and I absolutely loved. It was great. There might be videos of that on this channel. I don't know if that was... I definitely read it whilst I was making bookish content, but not whilst bookish content was the main thing I did. But if there are any videos, I will link them. But yeah, I want to give this a go, but it hasn't had the best reviews. So I'm really intrigued by it. I really enjoyed Red Queen. I feel like this could be an amazing book that I really love. On the back it says absolutely nothing basically. A squire, the survivor of a failed quest, an immortal, timeless and unfathomable, an assassin, skilled and heartless, an old sorceress holding secrets behind her teeth, and a pirate's daughter, the ward's last hope. The heroes are gone, but the fight to save the world has only just begun. Like, that's literally all it says. That's it. So I don't know really what we get in. I assume it's going to be multiple POV and we're going to see from all these random people it's listed out on the back. But I really don't know what I'm getting myself into. So yeah, this is what I decided to go for. I'm a bit nervous about it, in case you can't tell. But I do believe that the second book in the series is going to come out in paperback soon. So I figured now was the perfect time to pick it up and have a look. I hope I enjoy it. I hope I enjoy it enough to continue on in the series. But I guess we'll find out in my June wrap up. So yeah, that's all I can really say at the moment. So those are the 6 books that I've picked out for this month. We got really lucky not getting any snakes. I do feel, although this looks big, I do feel like it's manageable because one of the biggest ones is like graphic, so it won't take as long to read as like a novel version would, that size. So yeah, that's what I picked out for June. Those are the books I'm going to be trying my best to read. I'm really glad that it is only 6 books because I've got a really bad backlog. The amount of books that have made it onto my TBR unofficially this year and are still just sat on my bedside table is ridiculous. So June is going to be the month I either get through them or bring them back up to the office so they can be picked out again because it's getting bad down there. So yes, I do really hope that you enjoyed the video. Please do give it a like if you did like it. Subscribe down below if you'd like to see more content like this, and let me know what's on your TBR for June. See you next time. Bye.